Trying to stay with Curry, catches one dribble, steps back, puts up a three, won't go, rebound tip taken by Spades, final seconds, it's over, it's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. I came back home to win a championship and energize Northeast Ohio. But in a place like Cleveland, there's so much more work to do.
3,300 acres of land sits vacant. Almost 2% of the population has left in the past 3 years.
To revitalize Cleveland, we need to work block by block, street up, and street by street. I wanted to invest my time and influence to create a movement that can maybe strengthen our community and transform neighborhoods.
Sounds like the underdog around here.
So I recruited 4 local investors that share my passion to put their own money into 4 new businesses in a neighborhood that's on the rebound, but still has too many empty storefronts.
We're doing something great for the community. We're bringing neighborhoods together.
If we can help rebuild one corner of the city, we can create jobs and growth.
216.
Nothing is given.
All right, guys, team meeting.
Everything is earned.
Okay, support you. We have a line stacking up.
You work for what you get. This is Cleveland Hustles.
Previously on Cleveland Hustles, our mission started in this community center in the Gordon Square neighborhood, just a few miles from downtown Cleveland. Originally, 20 entrepreneurs, all looking to take their business to the next level, pitched their ideas to our team of investors, handpicked by LeBron James.
We're providing jobs in this community.
So far, the Cleveland Bagel Company and leather goods maker Found have won investments. In 3 months, they'll be opening storefronts in Gordon Square, a Cleveland neighborhood that needs development. Tonight, it's financial advisor Kathy Feudy's turn.
Your vision really impressed me.
She's putting 2 small startups to the test.
In my business, I appreciate knowledge, passion, and integrity.
Only one will earn her financial backing and expertise and open a retail space of its own in Gordon Square. The stakes are huge for these 2 small businesses with giant dreams.
How are those looking? What do you want to do?
Kathy Feudy is one of LeBron's hand-picked investors. She's a tireless proponent of Cleveland and a successful financial advisor. She has a really discerning eye and a very direct bottom-line approach.
I chose 2 businesses that really spoke to me. The Proper Pig, which is a barbecue food truck that want to go to a brick and mortar.
We've been in business a little more than 2 years, and in that amount of time, we've won the Best Barbecue in Cleveland Award.
I think a new barbecue place in Gordon Square would be a welcome addition. There's no barbecue in that neighborhood, plus their food's excellent. The other business I'm considering is Groundswell, which is a yoga studio. I think it'll be very welcome in Gordon Square. It's an amenity the neighborhood just doesn't have right now.
We want you to be part of creating a culture in Cleveland that is active, vibrant, and one of the best cities to live in America.
More than having a financial success, I really want to make a difference in revitalizing Gordon Square. So if the business I choose to invest in really has to be a good fit for this neighborhood, I have to evaluate Groundswell and Proper Pig to see how they're going to run their business, to decide which one I'm going to invest in. The first business that I'm going to be looking at is Groundswell with Ann. Ann already runs a successful spinning studio called Harness Cycle, but now she wants to expand into yoga and open up Groundswell in Gordon Square. How are you?
How are you?
Good. Well, tell me how you went from Harness to Groundswell.
Yeah, I really felt if we incorporated some other activities on a Saturday morning, we could bring more people to the neighborhood. 3 years ago, we opened Harness Cycle in an area of Cleveland that really no one wanted to be in. And now it's become one of the most active corners of the city. We really believe that we helped push forward that revitalization process, and we want to do it again. The yoga was getting so popular that it was kind of crowding our brand. So then we peeled out our events into its own brand called Groundswell. My husband Andy and I, we just had our second son, and we love raising my family in Cleveland. I'm really invested in revitalizing the city so it can be a better place for my kids. A yoga studio like Groundswell can bring a new energy to a neighborhood. I'm seeking $200,000 to help open the yoga studio. I'm not interested in giving up any ownership of our company, but I am willing to pay a competitive interest rate with that loan. I'm also seeking someone to really coach me on the next stage of growth for our company.
How many clients do you need for Groundswell to be successful?
We're looking to get in about 70 people a day. However, we will have the capacity to serve probably around 400. We're going with confidence in that because we did that from day one with Harness Cycle.
Ann's current business, Harness Cycle, has a great reputation for its instructors and its classes. And Ann clearly understands how to get her customers excited about working out. But I don't know if Gordon Square is the right place to open up a yoga space. It's a neighborhood where residents might not have the disposable income for a yoga studio. The other business that I'm interested in is the Proper Pig. Their barbecue is great, and I think a local restaurant would really bring a spark to the Gordon Square community. I'm meeting them at a local coffee shop so we can talk more about how they're going to transition from a truck to a restaurant storefront. Hey, Shane.
Oh, hi, Ken.
How are you?
It's been a very eventful morning. So we were getting ready to bring the food truck down and driving it out, and you made it about 10 miles,
About halfway, and it just totally died.
Yeah.
What happened to the food that's in there now?
We lose all the food that we had, plus we can't sell it.
Right.
Why would you want to do this project?
I have an 8-year-old daughter. Teddy has 2 little kids. I think it'll add stability to our lives. My daughter means everything to me. A few years back, I lost my wife to cancer. My daughter, she was 3 years old at the time. That tragedy forever bonded us. One of the reasons I wanted to open the Proper Pig was to show my daughter that sometimes in life it's willing to take chances in order to be happy. We've sacrificed so much so far to get to where we're at. Opening a restaurant would give us the jump start we need to make a better life for our families. We're asking Kathy for a $100,000 investment to build out the restaurant space in exchange for 25% of the company. We'll be able to expand our menu, do more meats. Like right now, we don't even do ribs, and around here, that's the one thing everybody knows.
Ribs. What kind of square footage are you looking for?
2,000 would be enough for us. It's counter service, so you don't have to have servers going around each table.
I love Proper Pig's plan to do counter service. It's going to keep the costs down, and I really think that fast casual is going to take hold. But Ted and Shane have never run a full-scale restaurant before, and running a storefront is very different than operating a food truck. Both Groundswell and the Proper Pig seem very passionate about bringing their business to Gordon Square. But I still need to figure out which one has a better chance of thriving and helping the neighborhood. So I'm asking Bonin to help me frame a task for each of them that will actually measure which one will do better.
I haven't really seen barbecue fast casual on a chain level, so I think there's a space in the marketplace.
I think the key to Shane and Ted's success is really going to be dependent on how successful they are in running a restaurant, but also bringing people from the neighborhood. Since we can't build a restaurant in 2 days, I want Shane and Ted to use their truck as a kitchen and to set up a one-day pop-up in Gordon Square. I want them to serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner like a real restaurant, attract at least 200 customers, and generate $1,500 in sales. It's going to be your task to get customers coming. I want to see how you can generate that traffic.
Awesome. 2 days is not a lot of time to set up a dining room and prep for a full day of cooking. Not to mention breakfast, which we never served from our truck before. It's just the 2 of us doing everything, so we're really up against it. I don't know how we're going to get it done in time.
I want to see you profitable here. Anne is a great businesswoman, and I love that. I do believe that Anne can build a community from nothing. But is Gordon Square an area that can sustain a yoga studio 365 days a year?
I think you have the right creative vision, but I know there are some challenges.
Going from harness to a different concept? Is she going to be able to get the traffic here? Is she going to be able to get the neighborhood to embrace this? For Groundswell to do well, Anne is going to need the support of Gordon Square. I think if she can attract 70 clients from the neighborhood, Groundswell can be a successful enterprise. So my challenge to Anne is to give her 48 hours to open up a one-day pop-up studio in Gordon Square. If she can run a full scheduled day of classes, bring in 70 people from the neighborhood, and earn revenue of $1,000, and she may earn my investment. I'm going to swing by to see you in action, and Vaughn is actually going to take your class.
I am going to take your class, Anne, and it better be good.
Okay. I typically we plan events for like 3 to 4 months. So planning this in less than 2 days is a huge undertaking. It's pretty overwhelming.
Coming up on Cleveland Hustle.
I know we threw around a breakfast option, but it's hard to do eggs.
I'm thinking to myself, these guys don't have a chance. Cafe Futy has an important decision to make, whether to invest in the fitness studio Groundswell or the barbecue restaurant Proper Pig. She's giving both businesses 48 hours to open and operate a one-day pop-up of their business concept. She has to choose which business can thrive in the economically challenged Gordon Square neighborhood. It's been depressed for a long time, but it's slowly coming back. Hopefully the time is right for one of these businesses to take advantage of it.
Well, of course, the life of a food truck owner, just as we have this challenge coming with the pop-up, our truck goes down.
Right now, we're very nervous because we have 2 days until our pop-up and we don't even have our truck. It's at the mechanics. Now we don't have a kitchen. Without the truck, we can't do anything.
We pretty much have the mechanic on speed dial at this point.
3 years ago, we bought our truck off Craigslist for about $1,000. We built it up ourselves, and it mostly runs, except now.
So what do we want to do for this menu on Thursday? I'm thinking the sandwiches, the brisket, the pork, the bacon on a stick, and then because we're promoting what we'd want to do on a restaurant, let's do a sampler, more restaurant style. I'm thinking that we'd partner with somebody like Brew Nuts or somebody to get us like a special donut or something like that. Since they're in the neighborhood, we do like a lunch and dinner shift. We don't really do breakfast. So that could be something we could consider with a restaurant, but right now I just don't think the truck's set up for that.
Kathy's asked us to do breakfast, but since we smoke everything fresh every day on the truck, we're concerned that serving breakfast will take away from how much food we could cook for lunch and dinner, which make us a lot more money. So we've decided to not serve breakfast.
Morning, guys.
How's it going? Hey, Patty,
It's your favorite food truck.
She's ready to go.
Nothing too painful this time?
No, we'll go easy on you.
Well, we finally got the truck back, but with less than 48 hours until the pop-up, there's only 2 of us to do all the prep, get all the food, get everything ready. We spent the whole morning picking up the truck. I just hope we haven't lost too much time to meet our deadline.
I should walk on the outside of you just because.
You're a gentleman.
Yeah.
My husband Ian, he's my biggest advocate. He's a Cleveland firefighter. Andy has been super supportive throughout the whole development of our business, and he has like just a ton of experience on how to take my crazy ideas and make them physically happen. We have to find the location. Hey Adam, it's Ann Hartnett calling.
Brian, hey, I'm looking at like a temporary space.
We are tasked with a pop-up event.
Events on Thursday.
Our goal is 70 people for the entire day, so we need a space that's large enough to fill that capacity.
Well, I gotta get something to happen. Think about it.
If we don't find the right space for our pop-up event, I don't know if Kathy will see what differentiates us as a yoga studio. And quite frankly, I don't know if Kathy will invest in us. Hi. Yeah. Okay. I would love it to be at Cleveland Public Theater. I'm wondering if you have any connections. We finally turned up a lead at the Cleveland Public Theater, which is really an anchor in the neighborhood. It has a ton of character. There's so much history in that space. I think it's imperative that we convince them to let us host our event. That's perfect. I'll see you soon.
Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. How are you doing?
Don't be too critical now.
I
We built
won't.
this whole thing
I
by
know.
ourselves.
When Bonin came to meet us at the truck, we were nervous. We've barely gotten started with our pop-up, but at least we've got a menu.
What do you guys think about the challenge?
We're going to expand the menu a little bit more. Instead of just the normal sandwiches we do on the truck, we're going to do some samplers, some meat that we can cut in front of people, and kind of exactly what we'd be doing in a restaurant.
Okay. Are you going to serve for the whole day, or what's the plan?
I think we're going to do a lunch and dinner. I know we threw around like a breakfast option, but it's really just, since we cook everything in the smoker, it's hard to do eggs and stuff like that.
Kathy asked, could you look at just maximizing revenue for the day? And so I'm worried that if we don't do a full day menu, then we're kind of just telling her that we're not even willing to try.
We'd hate to take a nice, huge brisket that's so beautifully fresh and have to chop it up and throw it into eggs.
They're showing her nothing more than what she would see by visiting their truck. I'm thinking to myself, these guys don't have a chance. Coming up, is there a class going on now?
No, so the 9 a.m. class, we decided to cancel it.
She's canceling already, so I'm getting a little nervous.
By the time we got to dinner time, the meat was starting to dry out. What do you want to do?
It's less than 40 hours before the pop-up's open. I've got to convince the Proper Pig owners that they better serve breakfast at their pop-up, or they can forget about Kathy Feudy investing in them. I think you guys have a really huge opportunity in winning. All we have to do is figure out how that pop-up can operate something interesting a few more hours of the day. One of the things that's paramount to the restaurant is, can you actually serve multiple seatings? Because if you put them in a building, immediately their overhead goes up. If they only serve lunch and dinner like they do now for their truck, then where is the extra revenue going to come from? So figuring out how to serve breakfast is essential for this business to succeed. We could call in Jonathan. I mean, I'm happy to make that call.
If we could get somebody that has a little more experience and could help us think of something that we've never thought of before, that's awesome.
Jonathan Sawyer is one of our 4 Cleveland Hustle investors and a world-class restaurateur. If anyone can help the Proper Pig guys, it's Jonathan. I'm here with the guys from Proper Pig.
What's up, dude?
Kathy asked them to look at a breakfast option. Maybe you can help the guys brainstorm of what they could kind of serve.
I could definitely help you guys out.
Since we've started, Shane and I have been self-taught, done all the barbecue ourselves. So having Chef Sawyer, one of the greatest chefs in the world, give us a little bit of guidance is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Your moneymaker is your barbecue, but at the end of the day, we're not going to sacrifice your moneymaker to sell a couple eggs. Meet me at Cantina tonight around 7-ish. All right, we'll be there.
All right.
Sounds good?
Thanks
All
again,
right,
Jonathan.
thanks, Jonathan.
Hi, my name's Ann. I'm calling to talk to somebody about renting the theater for an event.
Come around the front door and I'll grab you.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Thanks. I really need the pop-up event to be in the theater. I think it would create an incredible experience and really showcase one of the foundations of the neighborhood. So I'm pretty stressed because I'm not really sure if the theater's into the idea of renting the space for our yoga classes. I'm interested in hosting a pop-up event this Thursday. we want to do like a day in the life of our yoga studio.
Then we definitely want to step in here and look in the Gordon Square Theater.
The theater was perfect for our event. I think it'll just create an amazing experience for not just showing Kathy what we do, but the people from Gordon Square that are experiencing Groundswell for the first time are going to absolutely love it. This is awesome. It's perfect. So if you're comfortable with the use and the date, would love to talk further about rental.
Yeah, I'm not used to setting up a rental this fast.
Okay.
So we'll
I'm not used to launching a business this fast.
So Vinny, let's start one of these Pane Pitas. Hey, what's going on, dudes? How are you?
Oh, we're doing great.
Thanks. Pig, bring in the pig.
When we met with Jonathan, I'd be lying if I said we weren't a little bit intimidated. Everything that we've learned is through trial and error, and now we're talking to a James Baird Award winner. So we were like deer in headlights.
Here we have some leftover bacon on a stick and sausages.
Damn. It's seasoned like a bastard in all the right ways.
And then that's a brisket. We don't want something like this to go to waste.
No. It's important when you're a restaurant operator to use every single bit that comes into your restaurant. Leftover barbecue from the night before is tomorrow's breakfast. That revenue stream is important to Proper Pig, and I can teach them how to use it. How many menu items do you guys want to craft?
We'd like to keep it pretty simple, maybe. What do you think, 3?
I'm thinking you gotta look at about 5 menu items. You gotta have a savory one. You gotta have a vegetarian one. And I think the meat speaks for itself. Even though we're talking about breakfast, it still should be the star.
Awesome.
How about egg in the basket or a toad in the hole? A toad in the hole is a classic breakfast or brunch item. You take a piece of bread or toast, cut a hole in that toast, and you fry an egg inside of it. I think that's something you guys could work with. You can go savory style, you could go sweet style, you can go vegetarian, you could rip them all up there.
Yeah, we don't really come from a culinary background, so we tried to concentrate on what we do well.
Well, now's the time. Definitely take a risk and win this pop-up challenge.
Yeah, sure.
Let's test it.
This really was not something that we were very excited about, but as he talked to us, it really made sense, and we think it could be something that would be great for our business.
We whip the eggs whites and the yolks separately to keep all the air in there. So go ahead over to that microwave, pop it in, and see what happens. Microwave's not a negative technology. If you use it appropriately, it makes sense. I've found many ways to prepare eggs in the microwave. I think the most important thing is that the toast you feel like you can do, and the egg you feel like you can do, and then everything else is going to come back to what you guys do every day, no matter what. Gordon Square is a population of about 3,000, but it's in dire need of a breakfast, lunch, and dinner spot. People tend to leave the neighborhood to dine. So if these guys can pull it off, it can be a nice boost to the quality of life there.
I'm just gonna run through high priority stuff. Callie, type up descriptions of what each person will do. Okay. For our pop-up, we're having 5 yoga classes throughout the day. Kathy's challenge was to pack these classes with 70 people from the Gordon Square neighborhood. So I am on the phone just calling anyone I know in the neighborhood to see if they can get everyone they know to attend the event. Let me look at what we're at. The 9 and the lunchtime one. Those are just lower because it's, work time. It's work time. Right now, registration's looking pretty light for the 11 a.m. and the 9 a.m. time slots. Gordon Square is primarily a residential neighborhood, and so it's going to be really challenging to get people during those midday time slots when a lot of people are at work. Fortunately, I have my team from our other business to rely on, and I think they're really going to help us make the push. I'm going to email all the volunteers. I'm just going to say, be here at your designated time. Gina focused on getting the word out on social media. Matt is trying to partner with different businesses in the neighborhood to sell drinks or food options. We're trying to infuse really good music. We are really focused on where even the placement of the mats will go so that this really large space will feel much more intimate. Everyone has a job and everyone needs to do it really well because we don't really have much room for mistakes. When you guys are done with that stuff, make your shopping list and head out and shop.
Nice coating a rub. The space in Gordon Square would feel like the Taj Mahal compared to this. We've had to sacrifice so much to get to this point. And if we could do well at this pop-up and get this investment and open the brick and mortar, it would make all of our sacrifices worthwhile. It's gonna be totally crazy doing these eggs tomorrow. We're gonna have to show what we're made out of, you know? Yeah. We work hard, we have integrity. We try to put the community ahead of just making money, and I think we just put everything we have into making the city better, and I think that's how Clevelanders feel every day. We'll get through breakfast, we'll get to lunch and dinner, and then we do our thing, what we normally do.
This is your yoga studio. Yay! We've got a great schedule planned for the whole day. Now we need to transform the space so it no longer looks like a seated theater. Is there going to be like a table for buying retail?
Yeah, I'll set up like a fold-out right here.
Retail is an important part of our business plan. It's currently 30% of our revenue at Harness Cycle. So while Kathy didn't require that we include retail in our pop-up experience, we think it's a really great way to show her that we're worth investing in.
We're really up against it. We have only 10 hours left till the pop-up opens. We have to get to the space and set up real quick. We're going for a very simple look. We want to let the food do all the talking for us. That's perfect. We're really excited. We hope with all our hard work, we'll have a big crowd.
We want to show Kathy that if we open the restaurant, we're going to be making an impact on Gordon Square and that her investment will be worth it.
Good choice on the black, I think. Oh, yeah.
Today's a really big day. All this energy spent for myself and our whole team, it really comes down to this. When you see people coming in, just like welcome them and be like, hi, come on, here's check-in. Kathy Beauty said she'd consider investing in my new company, Groundswell, if we could get 70 people through our doors today from the Gordon Square neighborhood. Unfortunately, we're still scrambling to get people to show up. It's a huge amount of pressure, but I think that's when I shine the best. Just kind of like keep the flow going. And if you see anyone coming in with like their coat on, still just be like, hey, can you put that on the...
I'm all over it.
Okay. Things aren't going as planned with registration for the 9 a.m. class. We've got great numbers for our later classes, but I'm just not sure if we could get 70 people to show up today.
We're gonna go look at Groundswell first.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what you did.
I know. What are you hoping to see?
I'm hoping you'll see a full class. We're estimating that Groundswell's operating cost in the first year will be $300,000. For Ann to break even, she'll need to average 70 clients for every day the studio's open and charge them $15 a class. With those numbers, Groundswell's revenue will be $1,000 a day or a little over $300,000 a year. So that's why seeing Ann get 70 customers from Gordon Square today is the magic number for me.
First of all, 9 a.m. class. Is there a class going on now?
No, so the 9 a.m. class, we decided we wanted to cancel it.
Okay.
She's canceling already, so I'm getting a little nervous. She's not going to be able to do this task.
Did you have registration for the 9 a.m. class?
Yes, we had registration.
Was it not enough registration for the 9 a.m.?
It wasn't enough. So I guess the decision I had to make was we need that time. We need some time.
So it had nothing to do with the low registration.
Oh, definitely. When Kathy found out we canceled a class, she was disappointed. I know that we're not off to a great start, but I think canceling that 9 a.m. class has opened up some time for my team to start getting the word out and make sure that we're really getting those 70 people in and having a huge success for the remainder of the day. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ann. I'll
Have
see
a
you in a
good
little
day.
bit.
So what do you think?
I'm concerned about the numbers. I want to make sure it's real.
I know she can bring her following out, but the question is, can she actually get the neighborhood to come
That's
out?
it. This is a bit of a bomb drop for me. I know she's shown a lot of confidence, but this is making me wonder, is she going to be able to get the following? I'm concerned. It's more than just feel good, great. I want to see her deliver.
We're 10 minutes away from serving breakfast on the truck for the first time. We're a little bit nervous. After all the hard work we put in the last couple days, it all boils down to today. Our potential investor, Kathy Feudy, is expecting us to serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, attract 200 customers, and reach $1,500 in revenue by 7 p.m. tonight. We really want our investment, so we're going to have to make this happen. All right, I'm going to test some of these eggs in the microwave. Let's get these going. Sausage is good. Bacon looks like it's going to be a little bit longer, but it's getting there. 5 for the veggie, 6 for pork and sausage. We planned as much as we could, and now it's sink or swim. All right, we're open. What can I get for you?
I'm gonna do the pulled pork
All right.
and the veggie, which I'm very excited to have the veggie option.
Awesome. Hi, what can I get for you?
Let's do one pork and one brisket. My husband and I will fight over it.
Awesome. I need some more pork. There'll be 6. Because we're serving breakfast and competing against some of the other local breakfast options, we had to lower our prices about 30%.
Hello, guys.
So what's up? How are you feeling?
I'm great. We had 2 dozen donuts, and I think we might have 2 left, so we did over 40, so.
For breakfast?
Yeah.
I was really worried that Ted and Shane weren't going to be able to pull off a breakfast menu and attract people from the neighborhood. So seeing them step out of their comfort zone and serving breakfast really speaks well of them.
Morning, everybody.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I come up there and take a peek at what you guys got going on.
Oh, you got it.
It's important to adapt to your customers. If everything that comes out is just barbecued pork on a different slice of bread, proper pig to not adapt. It's interesting for me to see where they go.
You guys hit this with a little additional fat when you get it on the grill?
Yeah. And then we're hitting that with some maple syrup at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we took your kind of toad in the hole idea and then kind of worked with brew nuts down the street because we want to involve somebody. Now we're making donut sandwiches. Jonathan Sawyer gave us some awesome ideas, but we wanted to put our little twist onto it. And it sold better than anything else we've offered for breakfast. Hey, what beats awesome donuts and awesome barbecue? Here's the pulled pork with the maple syrup on it.
Yeah.
Your take on chicken and waffles?
Ted and Shane collaborated with local business Brew Nuts for this sandwich. That shows their commitment to make proper pig a true part of the Gordon Square community.
The meat is so tender. Wow. It's delicious.
I think I could see people liking this a lot. You have to identify that breakfast can be barbecue in order for it to drive some revenue.
I really love the breakfast product. However, we're sitting inside of this pop-up, and you can't help but looking around and realizing they were supposed to create a restaurant feeling here, and all they did was put up some picnic tables, and they put a tablecloth on it, and they called it a day.
Shane and Ted had a fairly successful first service. I was hoping they'd attract 50 customers. They got 40, which isn't bad. I estimate that between rent, food, and labor, the operating cost of the proper pig in this neighborhood will be about $312,000 in its first year. That means Shane and Ted will need to bring in $1,040 a day just to break even. But for this restaurant to turn a profit worth my investment, they'll need to get about $1,500 a day, which means they need to get a lot more customers. But they put no effort into the dining area at all. If this is what the restaurant's going to look like, I don't know if I'd come back. There's nothing they can do about the dining area at this point. So now I'm focused on number of customers and revenue. If they reach my goals, then I might be able to overlook the drab decor they had in there.
This is where Kelly is. The 11:30 is very small. We had to cancel our morning class. We've only got 17 registered for our lunchtime class, so I'm feeling a little stressed. If we don't exceed our goal, 70 people in, $1,000 in revenue, Kathy's not going to invest in us. I'll probably assign some people to just start knocking on business doors. It's all hands on deck. Everyone's making phone calls to anyone they know. If you guys have ideas of people to reach out to, I'm definitely feeling the pressure to make this happen. Last name, please?
Bow, B-O-U-G-H.
All right.
Kathy and I invited the rest of the investors to check in on Ann with us. I want to get a better sense of her yoga class experience firsthand, so I'm going to take the class.
I walk into the theater, and I'm happy to see that there are people in there now. The morning class cancellation really had me concerned. I can't say that I'm blown away by the numbers that I see, but it is a step in the right direction. And with 3 more classes left to go, I'm hoping that Ann can reach the goals that I've given her.
We're good. We've still got 10 minutes.
We've got a lot of people checked in.
26.
Awesome. My team just did a full-blown effort to fill this class. This is good news. We've got 1 full class under our belts, and I think we're trending in the right direction to show Kathy that we can be a sustainable and profitable part of this neighborhood.
Start to breathe deep into your body. Just feel your belly expand, your chest expand.
This was the class I was most nervous about.
So on an inhale, choose the couch. You're just going to come out of your hands and knees. You're going to drop your belly, look forward, back, down, dog, let go.
This guy is so good at the front of the class. I start getting into it. Downward facing dog, upward crab, sideways, shuffle, whatever it is. And all I can think about is, wow, she really could be a breakout yoga studio.
All popped up, ready for you guys to eat.
Now that breakfast is over, it's a little bit of a sigh of relief. Now we get to do what we know we're good at.
Beef brisket.
We have a line of customers and everything's selling well.
And there's the sampler. Thank you.
One issue serving breakfast caused for us is that we had to get the meat prepared earlier in the morning. So by the time we got to dinner time, the meat was starting to dry out. How are those looking?
No, dog, but
Since all of our meat takes 12 to 16 hours to cook, it's not like you could just grab a brisket out of the fridge and throw it in and have something ready in an hour.
what do you want to do?
We decided to close down early, even though we haven't hit the 200 customers and $1,500 that Kathy asked for.
After this, close the window and
It really is an awful feeling turning away customers, but we will not do anything to compromise the quality or our integrity.
Oh, it's a bummer. They were in line for the truck.
We're walking to meet Jane and Ted. There was a couple that was standing at the food truck.
Oh my God.
what happened?
We see the same couple going into another restaurant down the street.
They were in line for the food truck.
And they came in XYZ.
Why did they leave?
Let's go ask them.
Hi, you guys. I'm Alan. Hey, we were just curious. That barbecue truck over there? So you were gonna go there?
We were. Our son-in-law can't eat pork. That's all they have left.
Oh.
From a personal and a business perspective, I'm really having a problem with turning customers away. I can't not address it.
What is going on here on my street?
Just slanging some barbecue in your neighborhood. We've made the decision to shut down, and of course the investors show up. Talk about bad timing.
Sold out, sold out.
Yeah.
I'm worried that a fast casual restaurant running out. I mean, I don't know, Jonathan. What do you think?
We're not looking to run out. That's the limitation we have with the truck, with the small smoker. We only have so much space.
But we're out of everything now, and we knew this was coming. You know, I expected you guys to be a little more prepared than this. The truck's small, but they had a breakfast and they knew they were going to be open 6 to 8 hours longer. They should have had more product ready to sell. At the end of the day, this is their one shot to prove to Kathy that they're worth investing. So over-prepare. We just want to hear kind of how the day went.
Overall, we had a goal of serving about 200 people today, and we hit about 185 or so.
We saw a couple customers that were in line walk into the XYZ.
Right.
We follow those people to ask them, why did they go away from that? And they said, you had no more left.
The way we're set up to do things with the smoker and the truck is we keep the meat in there. You hold it too long, by the end of the day, it's not at its best. Our whole thing is fresh. We don't serve crap. Having the whole day showed the limitations of the food truck.
And if you're telling me now that you told them no brisket because it wasn't up to your quality, I get it. I really respect that Shane and Ted made the decision to close up shop early and not serve substandard brisket. They probably could have reached their goal of 200 customers, but they chose to put the brand first. Hindsight 2020, they should have had more brisket to sell.
We felt like we
Let you down.
We put our heart and soul into that. We don't sleep, we don't see our families, we work really hard.
In my business, I appreciate knowledge, passion, and integrity. And one of the most important ones of that is integrity. You guys really showed me that.
Let's get down to the bottom line.
Right?
How much money did you make?
About 1,300.
What do you think the profit is on that?
I would say 20% of profit after everything. You scale $1,300 into 300 days a year, you're starting to approach $500,000.
Well, that's really good.
Even though Shane and Ted closed early and fell short of their sales goal, if you multiply the 1,300 sales that they did do over the year, they're making close to $400,000. With a 20% profit margin after paying their salaries, that leaves a pure profit of almost $80,000, which isn't bad at all.
We want to provide for our families in the way that we feel is fit. If Kathy invests in us, she's our family. We have to look her right in the eye every day, and we have to say, did we work hard enough to get her investment back?
I love the resiliency. I think that the knowledge, passion, and integrity is there. I've got a lot to think about tonight.
It was a pleasure meeting you guys.
You guys are all really great, and we really appreciate it. We're really nervous about Kathy's decision because we didn't hit the numbers she set for us. But I hope that she saw the quality of people we are and knows that a good restaurant with quality food could thrive in a neighborhood that doesn't have a lot of options. I guess we'll have to see what happens.
We came back to see the final class, the pop-up for Groundswell. The class is not only packed, but you can see how engaged people are. The instructor is excellent. And with the light and the candles, she really created a mood that was perfect for the body and the mind. But I need to know that the neighborhood is coming out to support Groundswell and not just Ann's friends. Because this is where they'll open if I invest in them. Yeah, I am going to be rude. I'm going to talk to your students.
Okay, go ahead.
Would this be a location you wouldn't mind coming to?
No, I wouldn't mind at all.
So you like this location?
I do. It's awesome. Very convenient.
I like that the clients I talked to were all enthusiastic about Groundswell. After a rocky start, Ann really seemed to pull it together. But let's break out the financials and see how she really netted out.
Let's go back and talk about final numbers now.
Okay.
Kathy asked Ann to bring in a total of 70 clients and to hit total sales of $1,000. It seemed to me like she beat that goal, so I'm really curious to hear what Ann says.
We were at $3,500 total revenue gross. We had 230 people total today.
What was your target goal?
When Kathy and I spoke, it was 70.
Wow, so you smashed it.
We ran a report on the zip code of the neighborhood, and that was 26% of our total today.
At first, it seems that Ann more than tripled Kathy's goal. But digging deeper, only about 60 of the 230 were actually from this neighborhood. Ann still did well, but that number is still slightly under Kathy's original goal of 70. Everybody came with their own mats. So all these people must do yoga someplace. So do you think you are going to be able to pull those people from where they're going now?
We are so committed to being a part of this neighborhood and to bringing people into all the awesome aspects that already exist and then making it better.
Ann's customer numbers and revenue are well above the goal that I set for her. But her success is a bit deceptive, since only about a quarter of those clients were local.
Well, you've just given Kathy a very hard decision. We're going to go deliberate. It's a pleasure.
Thank
you so much.
I'm really connected with this project. I really hope that Kathy sees that this isn't just a great business and a profitable one, but also it has tremendous opportunity to really be impactful in revitalizing the neighborhood.
Her vision is clear. Her will is strong. Is it strong enough that you'll be able to put her in a place to succeed and compromise a little bit? You know, time will tell. And I think Proper Pig they're the other way. You know, like their food is their strong suit. Can you help them put their food in a place where it can sell them?
Kathy has a very hard decision on her hands tonight. For Ann at Groundswell, the question is a yoga studio the right type of business that can grow and provide value for Gordon Square? And for the Proper Pig, we know the neighborhood desperately needs a fast casual restaurant, but will they be able to execute it? I don't know what she's gonna do. It all comes down to today. Investor Kathy Feudy must give Groundswell Yoga and Proper Pig her final decision. Only one will earn her investment and become a part of the new Gordon Square business community. So I know that Kathy's had a long night.
Rough night.
Believe it.
I mean, I had a lot to think about, and you guys both really brought your A game. Think back to the first day. You came walking out and talked about a new concept called Groundswell. And that actually gave me pause. Pretty big vision, pretty big investment. That challenge yesterday, I have to commend you on that, because I know I threw the gauntlet down to you with the breakfast. And you showed me your resilience. And your pop-up exceeded my expectations too. Your vision really impressed me. I love your integrity and passion. You really epitomize Cleveland hustle. I think I'd be a great partner. I love you guys. But I have to say at this time, I am not going to be personally investing in your company. I'm going a different direction. By no means is this a negative reflection. I believe in you, and I'm so proud of you guys.
It was disappointing when Kathy decided to go with the other company, but we were happy that we were able to meet her. Even though we didn't get the investment, I think that's a relationship we'll have forever.
We totally understand. It's a hard decision. We'll be okay. We're resilient guys. We always bounce back, like the city.
We've decided we're going to scrape together our own money, and we are going to open a restaurant.
Hey, thank you very much.
Good luck with everything.
Because we never give up.
The Proper Pig had a couple hiccups. They didn't properly prepare for the day and they had to shut down early. Their dining area lacked ambiance. Ultimately, I just think they need more time before they're ready to open up a restaurant. With no reservations and with complete clarity, I choose you, Randy.
Awesome. Oh my God.
I'd like to invest in you.
That's so amazing. I'm so thrilled to have Kathy's investment. It was a long, hard process. It means that someone I just met sees that what we're doing really does revitalize our city. I'm also pretty nervous about what this means for next steps because we've got a lot of work ahead of us.
I look at you and I see myself 20 years ago if I had that vision 20 years ago. Your leadership skills, I think I can enhance them, and I have bigger plans for you. You don't even know. Anne wanted to retain 100% of her business, so I'm giving her access to a $200,000 line of credit at 6% interest. I'm also offering her my consulting services for $2,000 a month, and I can't wait to get started. We're going to do this, Anne. We're going to do this.
I spent my whole time building really big brands. And when I look at what you have here and the opportunity in the marketplace, I just think sky's the limit here.
Anne is not just going to open a business, but she's going to bring the entire community along with her.
We will be
It's
back
going to
in
be
touch.
great.
When I think about what is about to happen to Gordon Square, it's going to be overwhelming. Next week on Cleveland Hustles, LeBron James's final hand-picked investor gets his chance when our last two small businesses
Let's rock and roll. A lot of soda to make.
compete to open a storefront in Gordon Square.
I made a bunch of phone calls this morning. Definitely have some great leads.
The confidence seems to be overshadowing the truth. Local businessman Kumar Arora must decide between pickles and soda.
I am very nervous.
Kumar wants to see 300 cases a week. It's a huge task.
Who's got what it takes to help pump new life into a neighborhood in need?
You guys have a lot of work to do. Are you guys prepared for that much? I don't know if they can pull it off.
Got it? Yep, I got it.
It's brutal, but I will fall down dead before I give up on this.
For exclusives and extras, visit clevelandhustles.cnbc.com.
The Proper Pig didn't get the investment, but they still have big goals. Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Shane.
Hi, nice to
Yeah,
meet
that's
you.
right. Nice to meet you.
How's business?
It's been crazy. We can't keep up with demand with just the truck.
Yeah? What's next?
We're hoping brick and mortar.
We work with a lot of restaurants when they're first getting started, and marketing can be a big part of making that successful. So I have some ideas I could share with you if that'd be helpful.
Yeah, awesome.
Go to cnbc.com to see how Deluxe helps the Proper Pig.
Welcome to the Shark Tank, where entrepreneurs seeking an investment will face these sharks. If they hear a great idea, they'll invest their own money or fight each other for a deal. This is Shark Tank.